for a winter day, it's not too bad out here. But we all know that the weather's going to get worse as time goes on. Well, is your car in shape for the winter? Well, Bob from AAA says he's got some tips that are going to get your car through safely and down the road and going, right?
You got it, Barbara.
What is it?
Well, there's several things you'd need to check under the hood of the car that you can do. Some of the things are over here, the hoses that are there. You can check them by looking at them and feeling them, make sure that they're solid or that they don't look like cracking when you push on them. You check the oil, basically check all the fluids in the car. And one of the basic things that you really need to get into is the battery. The posts on the battery, make sure they're nice and clean, because if the voltage goes down on the battery, it may not start if it gets cold. And of course, you're supposed to be, the engine is putting juice back into the battery, but if the posts are dirty, they won't happen. And they corrode underneath that, so you may want to take it off or have somebody do it. And of course, all the fluids, the oil, the brake fluid, most of that stuff is visible, and those are things that you really need to have checked.
Now, what about tires? How important is it to have our tires in tip-top shape?
Tires are really important, because that is the point that the car's surface touches the earth, and each one of those has a patch underneath it about the size of a man's hand. That patch is good for go, stop, and turn. So if the tire pressure is low, or the tire is not in best shape, and I'm talking about the tread is gone off of it, that's not good. Also, one of the biggest things that we see today is they don't put the right pressure in the tire. You can read the side of a tire, and it will show you what the pressure is. Another place you can look is here on the door. Inside the gas door is another way to look at it, and also in your owner's manual. Those are places that you can find out what the pressure of the tire is supposed to be, and that's very, very important. And the old tale about lower the pressure in the wintertime so that it'll have better traction in the snow, that's an old wives' tale. Don't do that. That makes it worse, because what happens is when you lower the pressure, the tire actually compresses as it hits the bottom, goes to the bottom, and that squeezes the tire, and now you don't have any tread. So they can't throw the snow out, and it just makes it a slick tire.
Well, you know, with Indy Creative Aging, you know, we're dealing mainly with senior citizens. Any special tips for seniors while driving? I know it's got to be different than what you tell a teenager or a young adult.
The steering wheel is supposed to be at least 10 inches away from your chest, because when that airbag goes off, it's going to hit you in the chest, and you don't want to be too close. That will come out at about 250 miles an hour, and the impact is really bad. Your hand should be at the 9 and 3 hand position, like where you're at.
Not 10 and 2?
Not 10 and 2. And they tried to get us to go to 4 and 6, but that was so low on the steering wheel. The whole point was to try to keep you from putting your hands in front of that center of that, because it will come back. If you have your hands in front of your face, then you're going to eat the back of your hand and probably break your arm or your nose, one. That's wrong, see? So if you're just backing into a parking place, that's one thing. But if you're out here on the highway, you do not want your hands to cross over. As part of a good winter driving setup, you need to have some kind of a car kit inside the car to help you in case you have a breakdown or you have some kind of problem that you have to face. These kits come with several different things. They come with screwdrivers, they come with pliers, they come with all kinds of first aid supplies, a whistle in case you can't yell. And they also have jumper cables on the backside. So different ones. This particular one has a flashlight that's one of those squeeze them, so you don't have to worry about batteries in it. Okay. The other thing you want to make sure is that you have proper clothing in the wintertime. Yeah, I know you go out, you're going to stay in your car. Well, if the car breaks down, you don't have that. So make sure you have warm gloves, a hat, or something to keep your head, because most of the heat that you lose is going to be through the top of your head. So hats, the old stocking caps that they used to have, are always good to have. An extra sweatshirt. gloves, those kind of things you need to have in a separate bag and carry for the wintertime.
Now you mentioned shovels. Senior citizens can't get out and shovel.
You know, when I talk to senior citizens, I'm going, make sure you take your cell phone. That way you can call your auto service and have them come get you out. If you slide off the road, people of age like myself, I hate to go out and slip and slide and fall and hit my head, and now I'm going to be in the hospital. So, you know, for the younger people, okay, take your kitty litter so that you can throw it under the wheel. Take your shovel so you can dig yourself out. But for the senior citizens, I would highly suggest your cell phone.
You know, there are things that you can do to check your car. For instance, your headlights, your tail lights, your flasher lights, your directionals, and you can walk around your car and look at it and see if your tires are flat. These are things you can do. You've got the tips now to get your car ready for the winter. No excuses. Just remember, your car is depending on you. Barbara Boyd, Indy Creative Aging.